Hi, this video we're going to um, show you how to move the bot around. When you're using a physical robot, often it won't start right here in the middle. You can actually place your robot anywhere as long as it's behind the black line. And we'll often write down in our code using those comments, remember slash slash, um, to remind ourselves where we put it. Like maybe you start it with the right wheel at A5, which is going to be over here. Well, you can't just pick up your robot and move it on the simulator. You have to use these coordinates down here. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the X and Y coordinates. And we changed the Y coordinate a little bit on the Just for Fun code that I sent you. But now you're going to need to figure out exactly what you want to use. This kind of chart might look familiar to some of you, a graph. It's not really a chart, a graph. It's called, it has what are called Cartesian coordinates. And as you move right and left, that's called your x-axis. The same thing is going to be true in our simulator. The x-axis is going to make this bot go this way or this way. So, for example, 220 is going to put it right at the line. But if I want it to start further back, I'm going to pick a lower number. You can see 45. If I, for some reason, wanted it to start somewhere past the line, it's going to be a number larger than that, as you can see. You can always just hit the reset button to get it back to the place right in the middle. Now, on our Cartesian coordinates, that was going this direction. Now, if we want to move it what looks like up or down on the mat, it's kind of like left or right, it's going to be your Y coordinate. So here's your Y coordinate. This is likely the one that you're going to change more often than I would think the X coordinate, but you can change the X coordinate too as needed. So a smaller number, you see I don't even see it, moved it all the way up there. A larger number than 400, we'll do 500, is going to move it down here. So you can practice moving your bot to where it makes the most sense for your code. Now, theta, you might think, okay, I've heard of X and Y, but theta is a little different. Theta has to do with the angles at which your bot is sitting. Some of you this will be very familiar to, and some of you it won't. But I wanted to show you, I found this little GIF that will help us a little bit. So when your bot is sitting straight forward, it's at 0 or 360, because in a circle, the number of degrees are 360. So if you want your bot to sit at an angle facing that way, it's going to be 49 degrees. Oh, wrong thing, sorry. 49 degrees. You can see it's at that same angle. If you wanted to turn it all the way backwards, maybe your program asks you just to run your bot backwards, you can do not 90 because that would be directly the other way, but 180. And if you'll notice, the numbers just keep going around. So if you want to move your bot, have it start out going a little bit that direction, it's going to be a much bigger number. Now what happens is this one stops right at 360. But if you do a number that's larger than 360, guess what? It just keeps going back around the circle. So if you do one that is like 450, it's going to be right up here. So on your simulator in the theta, like I'll show you if I do 450, it's the same thing as 90 because it went one full time around the circle and then back 90 degrees. It doesn't take negative numbers, I tried, so you'll just have to figure out. I have put this little chart in the tools, tips, and guides, so this might help you if you're trying to figure out about what it is. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to try to get the bot just using these, no programming, and set it right on top of 8, and I want the bot facing straight up. So you're going to have to play with these numbers to get it exactly there. For example, I can see my y is already down, so I'm going to try 550 just to give you an example. Getting a little closer, I'm going to do 600, and now I'm going to have to change my x coordinate to get it over here and change my theta coordinate to get it pointing straight up. Remember, you can always hit reset if you need to go back to the middle. One last comment about this. When you find the coordinates for where you want your bot to start, I highly, highly, highly recommend going and putting in a comment. You can put in like x equals, let's say 400, y equals, 300, and theta equals, 90, or whatever your coordinates are. Because the next time you come back to run your program, you're going to have to remember exactly what those coordinates are, and you may or may not remember.